Welcome back to the channel. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing rides again where it's actually worth taking a camera out on. Bit of a rough and ready episode, this one. Not quite in my normal editing situation at the minute, and that's going to be the same for the next few episodes, I think. But, you know, that is what it is. Hope you enjoy this episode.
Today's ride is the Rapha Compass Challenge. 4 points on the map, choose your own route. The Midlands version of this event this time is run in conjunction with our club, the Gorilla Coffee CC. So that's really the only reason this event even made it onto my radar. So I ended up having just sort of a cursory look at what the points on the map were. I plotted out a very rough route just to see. Turned out about 150k, and I thought, you know what? This looks like perfect sort of stepping stone to get me back up to randonneur distances. So I signed up and here we are. The route today takes us out towards the Clent Hills, to the Wartenberg, where we then turn southeast, straight through Stratford upon Avon, keep going south out to Edge Hill, and then turn north up to Meriden to the Cyclist Memorial, and then back through Solihull to the cafe to see the last stage of the Tour de France and hopefully see Cav win in Paris. Like I said, the route's about 150k. It's about 1600 meters of climbing, so you know, not really a hilly one, but not really a flat one either. It promises to be a hot one today, 30 degrees if the weather predictions are to be believed. I mean, it's only 7:30 and the sun's already pretty warm, so I think it's going to get at least that. Today I think it's just going to be about staying on top of fluids and sun cream, taking a nice easy pace and enjoying the ride. So at the first checkpoint of the day already, this is the Wartenberg. I think it's probably the only cobble climb in the area. Kind of made up of broken bricks, cobbles, dirt. It's reasonably challenging in spots, it's kind of steep. But interestingly, you know, I've done this climb a million times on the mountain bike. Very little on the gravel bike, and it's actually far easier on the gravel bike, you know. Right, I guess we head south now to Stratford upon Avon. So just stopped at a petrol station just on the outskirts of Stratford upon Avon to fill my bottles. I bought this horrendous mess, grenade carb killer. It's like the worst thing I've ever tasted. Man, this is one of those bars that you keep chewing and it just keeps rolling around your mouth and not getting any smaller. So as mentioned, just coming into Stratford upon Avon for checkpoint 2, which is Shakespeare's birthplace. There's a little statue there that everyone's been taking a photo by. So I guess I better find that. Still chewing this bar, honestly. Grim. Right, checkpoint 2 done. Now on to Edge Hill. So it's probably time to address where I've been for the last 6 months. If we cast our mind back to January, the last video I did on the channel, the ride with Porrick where we both crashed in the ice and had about 17 punctures. I mentioned on that video that I thought I was going to be off the bike for a while. That time off the bike ended up being 9 weeks. But the crash I had during that ride, total coincidence. I finally got a diagnosis what my problems have been, and basically it's been problems with my adductor on both legs, not recruiting properly when I'm pedaling and walking and such. Also got some issues with my posterior chain, which I think is really down to being a lot more sedentary during lockdown and working from home. So since I guess mid-March I've been doing exercises to try and correct all of that. I've been riding, but really just a few hours ride, or you know, a Thursday club ride, nothing too strenuous. I mean, I've done a couple of, well, I've done a few 100 to 110k rides, which have been good, gradually getting me back to distance. But yeah, this one today at 150 is certainly the longest in recent times, and yeah, it just feels good to be going out and doing this stuff again. Really happy to be back. Hopefully going to be making a lot more videos again, and yeah, a big thank you as well to everybody who messaged me in this period asking about if any more content was coming for the channel or anything. In the same way as I've said before, it's always good to get comments on videos. It was good to get those messages, kind of validates what you're doing, right? So yeah, big thank you to everyone who sent me a message in the last 6 months or so. Edge hill done. Can't say it was pleasant, but it wasn't too bad in fairness. Now onto the castle at the top of Edge Hill for checkpoint 3. So here it is, the castle at Edge Hill. $85k done, just over halfway. Feeling reasonably good for it. Just on the hardest pull. So yeah, all good. So now taking a pretty sharp turn north, going up to Meriden to the Cyclist Monument for checkpoint 4. So I mentioned I've done some like 100k rides lately, most recent of which was actually last weekend with my friend Laura. Laura mentioned that she'd never done a 100k ride, so you know, clearly I was, let's go ride 100k then. So we did, and it was interesting because, you know, she was quite kind of apprehensive about, you know, bumping up her longest ride by a reasonable amount. So, you know, anyone's going to be, I think, maybe a little apprehensive. But the thing was that I know that Laura is kind of used to going out for a ride and basically just smashing it as hard as she can at any given moment. So I knew she was going to be fine as long as we paced it correctly. So that's what we did. Took a nice conservative pace. And by the time we got to the end, she was actually like, oh, I feel okay. And there it is, really, the power of pacing. So there's a lesson to be learned there. Now maybe you're someone who's stumbled across the channel because you're interested in getting involved with some longer distance riding. The best piece of advice I can give you, like, or the most important piece anyway, is just watch your pacing. Okay, take it easy. Go out slow. If you feel you got something left near the end, hey, speed up. Now this is a lesson I'm trying to apply today. I've no goals today over average speed or getting back for a certain time or anything like that. I just want to get through the ride reasonably comfortably. Now, of course, the heat might play its role today, which, you know, fair enough. That's totally out of my control. But what is in my control is making sure I keep enough fluids, eating enough, not getting sunburnt, and maintaining a nice even pace. Okay, just in Warwick, it's I don't know, 110k done. It's about 40k left. The heat is really oppressive now. It's still around 29 degrees, but oh, that last section, not a lot of shade. Need to get my box filled. Nice to find a bit of shade here to sit in. I think I'm just going to cool down for a bit and take stock, and then I guess get on my way. Alright, well, that's unfortunate. Looks like I accidentally routed a footpath, and while I'm no stranger to jumping a fence and having a little off-road jaunt, that didn't look at all rideable. Classic Warwick churned up edge of field. So taking a detour now. Looks like it might be an extra 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7k, which honestly could have done without it today, but it is what it is. So yeah, hopefully this won't be too long off route. All right, well, finally made it to Meriden. Oh my god, it's hot. It's on one hand it feels like a good benchmark that actually my legs, as it goes, I feel totally fine. I'm just so unbelievably hot. That's why I've had to stop again, another 20k in the sun, and I was like dying. So stopped for another cold drink and a ice lolly. Of course there's no rush, just gonna sit here in the shade for a little bit, head back to the cafe. Now the route back in is basically through Solihull. I very much doubt it's going to be worth getting the camera out at all, so this may well be by from the road. We'll see how it goes though. But yeah, on the whole I'm pretty pleased to have made it this far. This is already the longest ride I've done since last November, believe it or not. And you know, apart from the heat, I'm actually feeling fairly reasonable for it. Energy's kind of fine, legs feel fine. Just really struggling with the sun and the heat though. Anyway, yeah, I guess we can wrap up this one here.